So I actually prepared this information and started working on this video a couple days ago, right when this incident happened. But I've been so screwed up in the head over this incident that I just had to take a little personal mental break. So, yet another name for us to remember. Yet another jackass doing something stupid. So, let's get into this. So today, I'm here to talk about the murder of Deona Marie Erickson by Nicholas David Krause at a peaceful protest. Before we can get into her murder, we need to talk about why Deona and many others were at this protest in the first place. This is not going to be a deep dive. This is just going to be a quick touchdown on the incident that happened before this that caused the situation. Protesters gathered in Minneapolis on Sunday, June 13th, 2021, to protest police brutality and commemorate Winston Boogie Smith Jr., who was a 32-year-old black father of three who was sitting in a parked vehicle while on a date when the U.S. Marshal Service task force swarmed, shot, and killed him. The young woman who was in the vehicle with him was also injured. The facts of this case are still a little bit muddy, as the police have changed the story repeatedly. At first, he was under investigation as a murder suspect. Then they claimed he had a gun. Then they said he fired shots at the officers, and the story just keeps changing. None of these claims have been substantiated in any way, and it looks like officers are coming up with new lies every few days. The police officers fired 12 rounds into the vehicle with complete and absolute disregard for the passenger. She has given a statement through her attorney that she never saw a gun in the car, and to make matters more complicated, none of the officers were wearing body cameras, nor were any of their dash cams capturing footage. Even though the Minneapolis police officers are required to wear body cameras at all times, the U.S. Marshal Service not only doesn't wear them, but prohibited local cops on their task force from wearing them, in direct violation of department policy. This kind of behavior stinks of an attempted assassination rather than a police investigation. So, now that we know why people were there, let's talk about what happened at the protest. It's a relatively standard practice during protests to park cars at the end of a street or around the border of an intersection to act as roadblocks, preventing vehicles from driving through the crowd, as has happened many times before. Roughly 50 people were at the event on Sunday night, when around 11:39 p.m. at the intersection of Lake Street and Girard Avenue, a man who is now identified as Nicholas David Krause slammed his SUV into the barricade of cars at an extremely high speed. The impact shoved the barricaded cars into protesters, injuring 4, and 1 would eventually be pronounced dead at the hospital. The suspect was removed from his car, taken into custody by the protesters, who held him down as he attempted to flee. Brave street medics who were part of the protest managed to revive Deona Marie before the emergency response showed up, and she was handed over to their care. Deona Marie, whose car was hit and shoved into her by the maniac driver, was taken to the hospital where she died from injuries.
So, we were down on 38 Chicago. We were literally playing red light, green light after we got done playing a volleyball game. And someone came to 100 miles an hour and they hit the car in front of the blockade. And the car flew out and it hit a woman. And so we have a woman that potentially might be dead and is bleeding out here on the street. Here's the first car and the incident. And there's the second car right there. He came through 100 miles an hour and he sped up on his way down.
I wish to give a massive thanks to all of you street medics who attempted to save her life. Without you, we would all be in a massive world of hurt. The police have not reported a motive from the insane nutjob who attempted to drive into a crowd. They, however, have stated drugs or alcohol may have been a contributing factor. There is no doubt in my mind that if the blockade of cars had not been in the way and stolen the vehicle's momentum, we'd be looking at many more injured and even more dead at the scene. By using her car as a blockade, Deona Marie absolutely saved many lives and is a hero. When the police arrived on scene, they treated the traumatized protesters with shouts and threats of violence, screaming at protesters who just witnessed this entire horrible situation and telling them they needed to calm down and threatening to arrest them.
And we ended up giving the person to the cops. We held him here because he tried to run. He got out the car and immediately tried to run and get away. And so we ended up stopping him. And so then after that, a couple of minutes later, we get like 8 cop cars that come, and they start telling, and they grab the person, we gave the person the bill, and then they start telling us that we need to back up or they're going to mace us. And then more squad cars show up, the other squad cars have fucking guns. And then they keep telling us they're gonna fucking mace us, even though we're the ones that just got fucking attacked. We just lost somebody. We potentially might have lost someone because the girl did not look like she was in good condition because she was in between a pole and a fucking car.
Why this man did what he did, we have no idea. I wish to send my love to the friends and family of Deona Marie, who now have a hole torn in their lives. Deona's birthday was supposed to be celebrated June 18th. She was also celebrating 1 year of sobriety. Deona, may you rest in peace, and know your name will not be forgotten.